Can you hear me, Anthony?
Yes, sir.
Yes, I can hear you.
Doctor, correct pronunciation, Stelnicki.
That is correct. Perfect.
Oh my God, I got it right.
It's as good as my mom.
When you do these with a headache, it's like tough.
Oh, yeah, for sure. And I get that. I do it with a backache every day. So
I got I played tennis for 40 years, and I've got 4 herniated disc. And you're sitting there with Anthony, who fell off a ladder, and he's got a bad disc. He's in pain.
No, well, I played. I actually was on the University of Florida tennis team when I was in college. So
Really, my son played for Florida.
Yep, I did too. I did my freshman year until I realized I was the worst person on the tennis team, and I was
played
never going to
2 years for Cal Irvine, and he was the captain of Florida for 2 years.
Oh, that's awesome.
The first time they made the regionals or whatever, because
Yeah,
he went back. But now he's a cane.
Great tennis players on that team.
My grandson goes to University of Miami, and he's works with the football team. So it's good. All right, Anthony, we ready?
Well, that's great. Well,
Anthony, can you hear me?
Yes, sir. We can hear you.
Ask Anthony if he's ready.
Anthony, are you ready?
Yes, sir. We're ready to go whenever you are.
All right. In about 30 seconds. So I see the time on it. All right. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We're here today on the Stern American Show, and we're with Dr. Eric Stelnicki, who is running for House District 100, who used to be Chip LaMarca's old seat, or his Chip is still in there. So that's a while till he runs. So, Doctor, tell us why you decided to run when you have a great career as a great doctor. And, we need great doctors here because, as you know, there's so many people coming into Broward County and we're trying to turn it red. So give us a little background.
Certainly. Thank you, Steve. So I think my story is going to be a little different than most of the candidates. I never intended to run for political office. Where I've had a family that's been involved in politics forever, and I've been in and around politics my whole life, but it was never my intention until really about 2 years ago, and I had a life-changing event. And I actually should not be here with you right now, Steve. 2 years ago, I was out in Wyoming. I was riding a horse in the mountains with my wife, and we were by ourselves, no sat phone, no cell service. And my horse was scared by a mountain lion. As I was mounting it, that horse threw me. I am actually a pretty experienced rider. I used to rodeo here as a kid in Florida and was raised on a cattle farm here in Florida, north of the Tampa area. But I got thrown from that horse, and my wife said I went about 50 feet horizontal, about 20 feet vertical, and I came crashing down on some rocks. And I have every injury Christopher Reeves has. I broke my neck, top 2 cervical vertebrae. I broke 5 in the middle. I broke my arm, busted my face open, bit my tongue half off, and threw a blood clot to my brain and bled into my chest. And there's a long story behind all that, but it ended up at University of Colorado, where I was so broken up they couldn't even figure out how to operate on me. I had to get medevac back here to South Florida, where I was in the ICU for about 2 months down at Memorial. And while there, I had one of my patients actually bring a priest from the Vatican who was visiting into my room, and while I was there to pray over me. And I'm not someone who will tell you stories that aren't true, but the truth is that this priest came in. He prayed over me, and he told me, because of my faith, that I'm going to heal, that I will never need surgery, and that I will be 100% restored. And when I do, I'm going to need to go back and do more. And every day after that, the surgery I was supposed to have, where I was supposed to fuse my spine from my neck to basically the middle of my back, kept healing. My neurologic symptoms continued to improve. And now I'm able to not only walk, but I'm able to run for this office. And I feel that this is my calling. And when I heard that Chip Lamarca's seat was going to become available, and when I found out that there were no physicians in the Florida legislature, it became something that was obvious to me that I had to run, and I had to bring 25 years of experience in the medical field, 25 years as a businessman, 25 years as a or more as a father and now grandfather. My experience in being a born and raised Floridian and how much I love this state. And I figure I needed to go to Tallahassee with that experience and do more for my state. So it's where I'm going, and I'm going there to do something to empower people, to try and do a lot for our state, and to try and do a lot for families.
So Florida, has tons of people coming into Florida, and a lot of things are going on. The House and the Senate in Florida is not has a great reputation on doing a lot of good things. What would you change if you went up to Tallahassee and became a House rep?
Well, certainly one of the things I intend to be heavily involved with is, of course, all the things that are going to be involved with the Medicare changes that and Medicaid changes that are going to be happening in the state. As you know, a lot of the Medicaid dollars are now being pushed down from the federal government onto the state level. And it is my intention to be part of healthcare and human services if I get up there and be impactful when it comes to the changes that are going to get pushed down on our state. When I first started practicing, my practice was only 10% Medicaid. Now it is 70%. And I will tell you, 70% of our patient population is not on Medicaid. Medicaid has become the citizens' healthcare or the citizens' property insurance of the healthcare world. And it has become sort of the lowest cost alternative for a lot of people. And it is going to be something that is going to need to get worked on and fixed if we're going to be able to balance our budget in the state. So that is certainly one thing I'm going to try and do and bring affordable healthcare insurance to people in our state. I also, as a business person, know we need to make it so small businesses can stay open and operate. And I want to work with our insurance industry to make sure that we can do things like afford windstorm insurance so that people can get mortgages. I mean, as the owner of my building and my business, I had to not renew my windstorm policy last year because it went up from $8,000 to $38,000. So, getting up to Tallahassee to be able to work with the insurance industry and make it so that we can have affordable windstorm, so that Citizens isn't the major carrier, which it was never intended to be. Create diversification in insurance in our insurance industry, so that we're not going to end up, if we have a disaster like a Hurricane Dorian that hit the Bahamas, hit our state, bankrupt our entire system. These are going to be major priorities for me when I get up there.
So the governor was talking about no property taxes for anybody. Everybody seems to love that. How do you stand on that? And where do you think they're going to be able to get the money to replace all the money brought in by property taxes?
Well, certainly the governor knows more about this than I do. But I will tell you that, I don't know where we would get all the money for it without some sort of a additional tax somewhere. Obviously, we had those revenues have to come in.
Yeah, I think he was talking about a sales tax,
Yeah.
increasing the sales tax to 13%.
Correct, and I've seen that, but it's people come to Florida because Florida is an affordable place to be, and I know people are leaving Florida because the property tax is so high. But not having a state income tax and having an affordable sales tax are two tenets of why people come here and why there are still more people coming to the state than leaving it. I think what we have to do is we have to look at where we can save money in our budget, where we can not frivolously spend money, where we can, try to cut things where we can. We have to realize we have more property tax income now than we did pre-COVID, and with the property values going up, and we should be able to get some tax savings to people. For example, I think if you are your primary home, there is no reason we shouldn't be able to offer some significant property tax savings on your primary home. But when people have 2, 3, 4, or more homes that have, there might be less of a property tax savings on multiple homes in the state. Would be one alternative that I would propose. Same with with property insurance. I think there ought to be a insurance benefit for your primary residence that maybe doesn't go on to multiple residencies. These would be ideas that I would float and propose, but I don't know that how viable it's going to be to get rid of all property tax. But I certainly would be in favor of doing something to ease the burden on families, especially retirees.
So one of the biggest things is illegal aliens, and many people didn't realize that we have a lot of illegal aliens in Florida. And what would you do to bring this information out? Because I was actually eating lunch the other day, and a bus pulls up with ICE right in front of me, going into a Hispanic supermarket, and they arrested 3 people. And it was pretty shocking to think that we have so many illegal aliens in Florida, and they're telling me in Miami we have a ton of them. And we have always looked at New York and Chicago and LA, but can we protect ourselves? And as a doctor, I'm sure you're seeing many illegal aliens out here, getting treatments for free. And this is very important for the state.
Well, of course it is. Your emergency rooms can be overwhelmed by the uninsured, and we need to make sure that we are not overwhelming our healthcare system with people that are here illegally and people that are becoming a burden on our healthcare system. Of course, we also have the issue of children, of course, that are born here to illegal aliens having birthright citizenship, and of course, our president has been talking about how to deal with that. Um, you know, I believe in legal citizenship here. Everyone's family somewhere along the way came here from somewhere else, unlike my wife, who's part Native American. Um, there are most of us who came, like my family came from Poland and Ukraine. They came here, but coming here legally has to be the tenet of how we come here to this country. I know lots of people who have come from Central and South America legally who have jumped through hoops, who've cost themselves thousands and thousands of dollars in legal fees, who've had to leave the country for a couple of years to even come back to be here legally. Those people shouldn't have to have endured all that just so someone can come here illegally and live here. So I believe there has to be a strong enforcement arm for against illegal immigration, but there also has to be a path for legal citizenship that's reasonable for people in America, because immigration is a part of it, and we want people to be legal aliens that pay taxes and are contributing to our society in every way.
So in our few minutes that we have left, number one, if somebody wants to volunteer for you or donate, how do they do that?
So they do that by going to our website, which is www.docstelnickifl.com. That's Doc, D-O-C for Dr. Stelnicki, Stelnicki.fl.com. That would be the best way to get a hold of us. We have my email is info@docstelnickifl.com. So if anyways, can feel free to email me questions or concerns, and I will get back with you. I promise. If they want to donate, there's a donation page on the site, and if they want to get involved with volunteering, there's plenty of stuff we're doing. I'm walking the neighborhoods already, starting to meet people, letting people know I'm out there and running, and I could certainly use people to help me walk and get the word out about what we're doing here in the state.
As you're walking and knocking on doors and talking to people, what are they saying that, as far as your candidacy? Because evidently they don't know you, and this is the first time running, so your name recognition is not there. So how do you convince the people that you're knocking on doors to vote for you?
Well, I talk to them and I tell them, who I am and why I'm running. I tell them that, I tell them that I'm there to represent business. I'm there to represent medicine. I'm there to represent their families. I am a father of 5 and a grandfather of soon to be 3. I'm there as a long-term Floridian, and I'm there someone who's been part of the Republican Party from the very beginning. And I am someone who is going to be there for them in Tallahassee, not as anything else except someone to represent them in their business and in their healthcare and in their families and in their lives. And when I explain that to people and I show them our platform, most people are getting on board and getting very excited about our campaign.
Well, thank you for coming on today. You have a great qualifications. We want to wish you the best of luck.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it, Steve.
Okay, that's a wrap. I don't know if he needs you for a minute. I'm going to come in.